Okay, problem 11. A new mass transit system has just gone into operation. So let's say it's a new MRT line, or it's just MRT. So the transit authority has made studies that predict the percentage of commuters who will change to MRT or continue driving their car, okay, based on the following information. Okay, so the first thing is how to interpret this matrix. Okay, so first it has this year. So let's say this year is 2021 and next year 2022. Okay, and mass transit, let's just call it MRT. Right? Automobile, let's just call it car. Okay, MRT car. So the assumption is that for a person, he or she either takes MRT or drives car. Okay, there are only two choices for his or her transportation. So first number 0.7. Okay, we can interpret this number in this way. Okay, in this way. That means out of all the people taking MRT this year, right, 70% of them will keep taking MRT next year. Right? Then the question is, okay, what about the rest? What about the other 30%? Okay, the other 30%, because you only have two choices, the other 30%, they will go driving car. Okay, they will go start driving car. Okay, so that's the first column. So this column is about people who are taking MRT this year. Okay, what about people who are driving cars this year? Okay, so similarly, 80% of them, they will keep driving car, right? They will keep driving car. What about the rest of them? What about the other 20% of people who drive car this year, right? They will start taking MRT. Okay, they'll start taking MRT. Maybe their COE expired or for any reasons. Okay, so that's the interpretation of that matrix. Okay, so we give this matrix a name. We give this matrix a name. We can call it, right? We can call it transition matrix because, right? Because it just shows how the population will shift, between MRT and car. Okay, it shows the transition of the population, right? What percentage of population is taking MRT or driving car from year to year? Okay, so for example, 30% of commuters taking MRT this year will change. Okay, that line is explaining this matrix. Suppose the population of the area remains constant. Okay, so there's no increase or decrease of the total population. And that initially, okay, let's say 2021, initially, there are 30% of the commutes use mass transit. So MRT, let's use M, okay? M stands for MRT. So initially, let's call it M0. Okay, so this is year 0. Is 70%. Okay, so in year 0, 70% of people of the total population they are taking MRT, and 30%. Right, from the question, it is 30%. 30% of them they are taking MRT, and 70% of them they are driving car. Okay, 70% of them they are driving cars. So, what percentage of commutes will be using MRT after 1 year, after 2 years? Okay, so here, initially, right, 70% of the total population, right, they are driving, 70% are taking MRT, 70% are driving cars, 30% are taking MRT. Okay, then you can left multiply that number with the transition matrix. Okay, so when you do the matrix multiplication, let's do it. So it's 0.7 times 30%, okay, plus 0.2 times 70%. So what does this mean? Okay, you can see these 30% are people who are taking MRT, right? And out of those people who are taking MRT, 70% of them will keep taking MRT. Okay, we keep taking MRT. And now there are 70% of people driving car. Okay, and out of those 70% of the population, 20% of them will change, okay, from driving car to taking MRT. So this is the people who keep taking MRT. This is the people who, convert to taking MRT. So then the sum of them will be the total population who will take MRT next year. Okay, so you can do the calculation. Do it quickly, there will be 35%. Okay, so 35% of the total population will take MRT next year. Okay, then what about these row times this column? 0.3 times 30% plus 0.8 times 70%. Okay, the interpretation is very similar. Now, 30% of the total population are taking MRT, right? But 30% of them, they will change to driving cars next year. Okay, similarly, 70% of the total population now, they are driving car. And 80% of them, they will keep driving cars. So the sum, that will be the total population who will drive car next year. Okay, so you just do the calculation, it's 65%, right? This is M1. Okay, next year, this is C1. This is M0. Okay, this is C0. Okay, then what about the year after next year? It's very similar, right? Same transition matrix. Okay, just transition matrix times next year situation, right? Here we have 35%, 65%. So this is M1, this is C1, right? Just do the matrix multiplication. It is 37.5%. This is 62.5%. This is M2. Okay, this is C2. Right. So this will be the case in year 2. Okay, in year 3, you just do the same thing. You use this times a transition matrix, you get year 3. Okay, so that will be for this question.